Caution, do not use with mono devices. This hillbilly stompbox of love is only good in stereo, coming at you from both sides, pulsing left to right. Play me the shopping cart, baby. Be my Einstürzen of the parking lot while we load the groceries in the trunk. This is not 1992, but I'm still hot for you. I found happiness in this sale on organic carrots and the end of the season clearance on topsoil. I found happiness in the way the fog circles these ridges, making southern Ohio look like Switzerland, clouds like mountains. Swinging on the porch, reading On the Road, watching the dendroita cerulean eat and rest on his way from Canada to the warm winter of Belize. He is no Kerouac, knocking on doors of empty basement apartments. This bird would not call him wild. This bird would know his antics by their scientific name, Inconsideritia bullshitia. Our quiet country night is a bourgeois slavery? Tie me up, tie me down, baby. Just don't forget the safety word. That poem originally appeared in the anthology Every River on Earth, Writing from Appalachian, Ohio. And that's edited by Neil Carpathios. And that was in, when was that? This says 2015. Was it really 2015? Huh. I would have thought it was a lot earlier. Maybe because I wrote that poem a lot earlier. Oh, apparently it was 2015. Who knew? I mean, a lot of people knew, and the copyright page knew. Yeah, people knew. That was one that I wrote during my master's program, and it was sort of my attempt at a love poem for my husband as we, struggled through rough times. And I went through a period there where I really loved experimental things and just sort of playing around with the words and being like cool. I was all cool. But why is that cool? And not like sweet stuff cool? I don't know. And maybe you're like, what are you even talking about? Your definitions make no sense. Here's the thing. If you teach English and you're trying to explain to students why you can't use vague or abstract terms and they're sort of fighting you on it, where they just want to use words like love in their poem and have it just stand for stuff, you can play them this clip where I'm like, that's cool. What does that mean? What does cool actually mean in that context? That's why you have to give more description in your writing, because different people have different images and ideas about what cool is. And you even have different ideas about what cool is based on when you as a individual person are. So my definition in I'm going to say that poem was probably written in 2008. Like, so the difference between me in 2008, me in 2015, me in 2023. Not the same definition. That's why you have to use good descriptors in your work. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm telling you. Did y'all enjoy watching me try to pronounce German and Latin in the same poem? That's bad. I know. If you just say it fast enough and kind of, maybe you'll get through it. Also in this, a thing in this poem, I want to do sort of a little shout out to my friend Kate, who the thing about the mountains, the clouds making everything look like Switzerland, that we used to own property in Appalachian, Ohio. We had about not quite 13 acres out down a holler. I loved it out there. It was beautiful. It was peaceful. It was wonderful. Not a lot of jobs. And I wanted to go get my PhD, so we left. And we sold the house specifically because I was like, if I have a place to come back to, I will. I know a PhD program is going to be hard, and I know I will want to leave. So we have to sell the house so that that I have nothing to come back to. Was that a good idea? Was it a bad idea? I finished my PhD 8 years ago. I still don't know if I should have quit at some point. Who knows, friends? Who knows? But Kate stepped out onto our front porch and looked out, and it was, the way the fog covers the hills in Appalachia and other places as well. It's not, any place you have differences of elevation in a area. And it was just beautiful. And she looked out and she said, well, this looks just like Switzerland. And she had actually been to Switzerland, so she knew of what she spoke. And that always stuck with me. And I had looked and looked for ways to work it into a poem, and it worked in that one. I like that poem. I have a poem coming out soon called About as Close to a Love Poem as My Husband's Ever Going to Get. And I had kind of forgotten about that caution, do not use with mono devices. I'd kind of forgotten about that one, which feels kind of like a love poem to me, or a sex poem at least. What's the difference? But I don't tend to write the sweet, how do I love thee, let me count the ways kind of poems. Maybe I should. I think about it. So coming up in a bit, there will be a poem that's called About as Close to a Love Poem as My Husband's Ever Going to Get. So I look forward to being able to share that with you all when it comes out. So in the meantime, I thought I would share an older poem. It's kind of love poemy. I think that's what I got for the night. Thanks for stopping by.